Every year, the UN hosts an event dedicated to talking about climate change. This year's event, COP26, was held in Glasgow on Tuesday, and Boris Johnson made a very surprising announcement. He promised that the UK would ban sales of new petrol, diesel and hybrid cars by 2035, some 5 years earlier than the previously announced rule by Theresa May in 2017. The surprising part about the new ban is that hybrid cars will also now be banned under the new legislation, meaning that customers will only be able to choose from cars powered by electricity or hydrogen. But why have the government decided to ban petrol, diesel and now hybrid cars? The answer can be found in the amount of pollution created by traditional vehicles powered by internal combustion. Both petrol and diesel engines produce the harmful gas nitrogen oxide, which can cause serious respiratory issues in high concentrations. Diesel-powered cars produce the most nitrogen oxide emissions, and they usually offer lower outright performance but better fuel economy. Next up are petrol engines, which traditionally give better performance but have lower nitrogen oxide emissions and lower fuel economy. Hybrid cars were designed to bridge the gap between petrol and diesel engines by adding a battery and electric motor to petrol engines in order to provide better fuel economy and therefore lower emissions. So with hydrogen and battery powered cars looking to become the new normal, I've come to a car dealership in Lincoln to find out about electric cars.
Well, I've been a driver of an electric car for a couple of years now. I've been on quite long journeys with them, had to charge at rapid chargers at motorway services and things like that, and I love them. I think they're brilliant. I find that it's just easier to just get out of the house and go.
Electric cars can use two forms of propulsion to power their electric motor. Hydrogen cars use a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, and as a result, the only emission is water. Meanwhile, the most commonly known form of electric car is a battery-powered car like this Leaf. These use battery packs mounted in the floor to power the electric motor, meaning that there aren't any emissions produced by the car itself. So we've been told that the future is in electric cars, but can the UK's grid cope with the incoming wave of electricity? Statistics from the Department of Transport show that by October last year, there were only 30 charging stations in Lincoln, and only 2 of those were fast chargers, despite last year, sales of electric cars increasing by over 200%. And while electric cars may not produce any emissions on the road, they rely on heavily polluting power stations and use batteries, including cobalt, which is a heavily mined resource. So is the future of electric cars really as green as we've been promised? Andrew Norris, LSG Weekly.